And here are some of the steel slats that the president's been talking about right here. As you can see, yes, you can see through these slats to the other side of the U.S.-Mexico border. But as we're walking along here, we're not seeing any kind of imminent danger. There are no migrants trying to rush toward this fence here in the McAllen, Texas area. As a matter of fact, there are some other businesses behind me along this highway. There's a gas station, Burger King, and so on. But no sign of the national emergency that the president has been talking about. As a matter of fact, it's pretty tranquil down here.
It's an election marred by violence. Since campaigning in Mexico began in September, there have been more than 500 attacks on politicians.
According to reports, the newly elected official was on his way to the town hall for a meeting. Locals are calling for an in-depth investigation, believing there may be others involved.
Video shows Mexican congressional candidate Fernando Puron posing for a selfie with a supporter when a man walks up from behind, raises a gun, and fires point blank at the back of his head.
The national anthem plays, the mayor in the dark suit, hand over heart. The shooting also caught on camera from behind. Halili runs to the right, then drops to the ground. Shot dead, a single bullet to the chest.
It's pretty tranquil down here.
The officials tell me the average number of arrests, illegal crossing arrest in this sector in McAllen, Texas, Rio Grande Valley is over 640 a day.
Well, you know, 1 in 5 people that we catch has some type of criminal history here in the United States. On top of that, we only catch 40% of what's coming across in this area. So that's 20% of what we catch are known bad guys.
But as we're walking along here, we're not seeing any kind of imminent danger. There are no migrants trying to rush toward this fence.
There's a lot of people out there that misses him.
And his dream was taken from him. We have to have a conversation about restrictive legislation.
When you tie our hands and don't allow us to work with our federal partners and communicate with our federal partners about people that commit crimes and who are in this country illegally, we're going to have incidents like this.
You know, I think Sanctuary Cities is about us being ourselves and who we are and respecting everybody. That's what we do here in San Francisco. It means safer communities. It means diverse communities. It means welcome communities.
No sign of the national emergency that the president has been talking about.
They're dead. I don't regret that. The only thing that regret is the kill too. I wish I killed more of them.
That illegal immigrant, Luis Bracamontes, had been deported at least twice leading up to the 2014 shootings and could potentially get the death penalty.
I will break up soon and I will kill more.
It's pretty tranquil down here.
But the story in Drudge and Big Story, it's all over the place now. Guys swimming across and big bags of stuff, drugs, swimming across the river, right? Swimming right across. And they put the drugs, and actually the camera crew or the reporters were petrified because they thought they were going to be killed. Because they're showing this on camera. The guy's carrying bags of stuff. It was drugs.
A CBS News crew witnessed one of those attempts as a man in a raft attempted to smuggle 2 people into the U.S. Their crossing near Roma, Texas, was less than 100 yards from a port of entry where dozens of armed agents are stationed.
The man who was paddling actually walked across. That's how shallow it is there in the river. He was able to walk back onto the other side. He gave us the middle finger and faded off into the tree line. This highlights an ongoing issue that Border Patrol has been talking about. The Rio Grande River, people just swim, they walk across, they come across easily. But what was surprising for us to see is that this happened in broad daylight about 100 yards from that international bridge.
Your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
That's true.
But
they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood.
Border Sector Chief Rodney Scott posted this video to social media showing what he calls repeated breaches to the aging border wall infrastructure in San Diego. And you can see people cutting holes in the wall and kicking right through. It is not known over what time period these videos were recorded. And he wrote, in order to secure the border, we depend on physical barriers, technology, roads, and Border Patrol agents to quickly resolve threats and keep America safe.
And here are some of the steel slats that the president's been talking about.
Last night here in San Diego, the caravan showed its propensity for violence once again when a large group of people congregated on the hill up behind me at about 2 in the morning. And then instead of trying to come north or surrender, they decided to assault Border Patrol agents with a hail of rocks. Our agents responded with the least amount of force they possibly could to protect themselves and the border, and did actually secure the border in this area. One agent was hit square in the face with a rock. Luckily, he had his helmet and shield on and was not seriously injured, but the violence associated with this caravan just continues.
But as we're walking along here, we're not seeing any kind of imminent danger. There are no migrants trying to rush toward this fence.
I used the word rape. And yesterday it came out where this journey coming up, women are raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before.
Sexual assault against women and girls is so common that many expect to be raped.
Almost all of the girls working the streets in the Mexican border town of Tapachula, where virtually all migrants pass, started their professional lives still dreaming of an ordinary life in the United States.
Shelter directors and human rights protectors estimate that 80% of migrant women crossing Mexico are raped along the way.
Robbery and assault are almost guaranteed. The rape and abduction of young girls and their subsequent imprisonment in brothels is so common the crimes aren't even investigated.
From October 2016 through September of 2017, more than 94,000 people were caught crossing the U.S.-Mexico border and claimed to be part of a family unit coming from Guatemala, El Salvador, or Honduras. Now, you'd think that illegally entering the United States would be an automatic ticket home, and quickly, but you'd be wrong. These people were not sent home. They were allowed to settle in the United States while their cases were resolved, which in practical terms means forever. Of those 94,000 illegal border crossers, only 1,500 have been sent back. In other words, 98% are still here.
As you can see, yes, you can see through these slats to the other side of the U.S.-Mexico border. But as we're walking along here, we're not seeing any kind of imminent danger. There are no migrants trying to rush toward this fence here in the McAllen, Texas area. As a matter of fact, there are some other businesses behind me along this highway. There's a gas station, Burger King, and so on. But no sign of the national emergency that the president has been talking about. As a matter of fact, it's pretty tranquil down here.
President Trump taking his pitch for border security directly to the American people today with his first televised Oval Office address tonight.
Do you think it should be, I don't know, a delay of some sort?
Why in the world would the networks run Donald Trump's address tonight when we know that Donald Trump is going to be using it to spread these lies?
Because people believe it. The president will say what he has to say. People will believe it, whether the facts are true or not.
Why should they run Donald Trump's address tonight when they know he's going to be spreading lies and falsehood?
The answer to your question, Joe, is they shouldn't. One of the most time-honored and powerful ways a president has to communicate with the American people is through a primetime Oval Office address. The majesty of the setting, the request for valuable television time.
The president says he wants airtime. He just gets it, right? Well, the answer is no.
President Trump, you will not get your wall.
A wall is an immorality, not who we are as a nation.
Have you considered using emergency powers to grant yourself authorities to build this wall without congressional approval? Yes, I have. And I can do it if I want.
And so he doesn't need the Congress to appropriate the funds for the wall. He can just do it.
So you don't need congressional approval to build the wall? No, we can use them. Absolutely. We can call a national emergency because of the security of our country. Absolutely.
It's now up to you to decide which side you're on. That's where we are. And Trump is moving in the right direction, and the only direction he has, to use his constitutional executive power against traitors in the government to declare a national emergency and take matters into his own hands. Our destinies are now bound forever. We ask you to now take action and declare the national emergency and clear the scourge of the foreign globalist infestation threatening America and the world.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new year is here, And I personally in the new year am looking at all the great supplements and products at InfoWarsLife.com and saying, what do I need to take religiously that I'm forgetting to take, that lowers inflammation, that empowers all the cells in the body, that makes me healthier, better stamina, libido, energy? And it's these three babies. It's Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula with 95% curcuminoid. Nobody else can top that. Top of the line in the nation. It's X3 that has all three of the good types of iodine together, including the deep earth crystal iodine. Because some people can't absorb that type, we put a little bit of the other two types and a tiny bit of vitamin C to stabilize it. And then Super Male and Super Female Vitality. Super Male Vitality's been our overall most successful product, neck and neck with Brain Force Plus. But because it's wildcrafted and a proprietary process, we weren't able to get it for long periods of time. And so I made the decision just to discontinue it and try to reformulate. But it's been very, very hard to do. So we're not discontinuing it because it's crap. We're discontinuing it because we can't get it. It may come back in the future, but right now we're just not able to bring you this. It's our last run of it. Proprietary, amazing. It's at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Body's Turmeric Formula. And it's supercharged with other key ingredients that supercharge it, bring it to the next level. And then, of course, it's the X3. It's our final run of X2. We've secured the deep earth iodine, but I thought to make a better one with all three types and the vitamin C. So get your X2, get your X3, all at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And again, have a great New Year as we fight the globalist and restore the republic and freedom to the planet. Thank you all.
InfoWars, tomorrow's news today.